We had Shapella. The Shapella
Adam,
hard
get your
fork happened
hands up.
yesterday. Adam, you didn't get your hands up.
I don't participate.
It's happening, meme.gif. You gotta look at that. Now, this was a pretty big update yesterday. Finally, that we saw unstaking occur on the Ethereum network through the Shapella upgrade. It's occurred late last night, very early in the morning for our European friends. Huge upgrade. We've seen about 100,000 or so Ether unstake as of now. This is mostly people skimming off rewards from the stake they put into the Ethereum upgrade of the Beacon chain about 2 years ago. We're seeing continuous people pull stake out of Ethereum right now. Is about 800,000 Ether waiting in queue. It'll take a few days for that to process. We're also seeing some large exchanges begin to pull stake based on past obligations to pull that stake, namely Kraken, which was forced by the SEC to shut down staking program. So there's a lot going on. But the biggest thing to walk away with is the fact that Ethereum successfully completed the Ethereum 2.0 transition that occurred, started back in December of 2020 with the launch of the Beacon chain. People staked ETH onto that network and they waited for that ETH to be able to unstake, and now it can be unstaked. This is a big moment for a lot of people who worked on this upgrade for years, and has been in the roadmap since the launch of the Ethereum white paper. Zach, I throw this one up to you. It brings you back to some good editorial coverage from the tech desk back in the day.
Yeah, long time coming, right? This gives people a lot more flexibility in terms of how they stake their Ether and where. Also could usher in a new set of those who might want to stake their Ether with a bit more certainty that they can withdraw it and keep it liquid. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out over time, but I guess a lot of people were kind of wondering what would happen to the price. And the price seems to be up, at least in the short term. So that's a question mark that I have. What seems to be driving that price surge seems to be on top of mind for a lot of folks in the article and elsewhere, talking about why Ethereum is trading right at $2,000 in the wake of what was a pretty significant upgrade that many were wondering if that would, increase sell pressure, right? If people can unstake this stuff, potentially they want to cash out. That doesn't seem to be happening just yet, as far as early indicators suggest. So I think the price action here is certainly interesting and worth noting. I'll toss it to Adam. I don't know if he has any thoughts on why the price is so up, but there's certainly lots to talk about here.
I think that the price is probably up because people expected the price to be down, and so as a result of it not going down immediately, it started going up. So
I thought you were going to do the meme where the price is up because more people are wanting to buy than they are to sell. Like you were going to hit you with just the classic 101 meme.
I'm not going to do that to you.
Thank you, sir.
Buy low, sell high, am I right?
So I mean, this is an important moment for Ethereum, and it's an important moment for people both on kind of like the Ethereum side of things and also on the other side of things, right? We've talked on past shows about how Ethereum is the market leader very clearly in kind of the world computer sector, and it has a lot of other projects that have over the years been like, hey, we're a better version of that. And a big selling point for many of those projects was scaling, was moving to proof of stake, or was being proof of stake so that you could claim better energy efficiency and things like that. So again, there were a lot of different places where this could have gone wrong, whether now or 3 years ago. There have been a lot of moments where this could have tripped and fallen right on its face, and it didn't happen. And the fact that it didn't happen is significant, both because this is arguably the completion of sort of the largest on-chain upgrade I think that we've seen across really anything of an at-scale blockchain, and then also because what do these other projects do? What is the selling factor of a project that is the next best thing after Ethereum if Ethereum is actually pulling off this thing that it's now been on track to do for a number of years? So I'm really interested to see what comes next for those, because I think that there might be kind of like a rebranding moment, kind of like we saw in the very early days when every coin was trying to be the next Bitcoin, right? And then nothing really worked. So you wind up with, well, okay, let's do something else entirely. And you wind up with something like Ethereum, and then everybody's copying that. So it's kind of an important moment for Ethereum. And I think it's a weird moment for a lot of the kind of altcoin scene. So curious to see what happens next. Jen?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I read this and I thought about all of these Ethereum killers we spoke about during the bull run. And I thought about a lot of them and thought about the hacks and vulnerabilities and downtime that they all experienced that Ethereum did. And Ethereum really just continues to truck along, to hit their milestones, to avoid any types of vulnerabilities or hacks or or shortfalls in these transitions. And it just seems like they're doing it so gracefully. And so every time I read one of these stories and I see the Ethereum price go up, it just makes me smile, given everything else that's going on in this industry that we talk about on this show so much. And some of the articles that were published this morning, there were a lot of bank analysts, talking about increased selling pressure and more volatility. And so just to see the price of Ethereum go up, albeit maybe for a short while, was nice to see amongst those stories. And Will, I'm going to kick it back to you for the final thoughts on this. The Shanghai upgrade has happened. People can now unstake their Ether, claim those rewards. What's next for Ethereum? What's the next milestone we have to look forward to? Is it is the one bad thing going to be the SEC? I don't know. Tell us.
Well, there's the merge, the purge, the splurge, and all the other things that Vitalik talked about a few months back, right? So there's a long roadmap for Ethereum. This is only the beginning. ETH 2.0, proof of stake, whatever you want to call it, it took quite a while, right? Like the first designs for this were happening back in 2015. But they did complete it, and they were very slow on purpose because it is a monumental engineering task. And also Ethereum grew so large in terms about the assets on top of the platform, so they had to be very careful. But there's things coming down the roadmap, right? There's ideas for how do you get rid of all this bloat of all this data that's happened on the chain in the past. That's something called the purge. Looks like there's going to be some novel tech engineering designs called the splurge, things like that. We have some fun names at Ethereum, and there's going to be more in the future. But this is only one part of future updates. I think it's probably the biggest, and that's maybe why we're seeing some nice rewards in terms of price action. But there is certainly more stuff to come.